Hello guys, and welcome to my channel NDR. And today I just want to show my a presentation. Because today I just did a testimony. Oh yeah, and sorry for that. I forgot to upload a video for yesterday. Sunday. Because I was too busy and I need to do my testimony preparation, so that's why I skipped one day. And yep, somehow. Yeah, and I today is like for me to share my blessing testimony with more details into it, since today morning I have too little time. And yeah, this like basically talking about my journey of blessing, and actually it will be much more longer, i- if I have the time, like the limitation. Because today, due to of the time limitation, I can only speak like halfway through, so it's not everything into it yet. Yeah, but yeah, here I can edit more. So basically, my blessing. So just to let you all see the photo, this year we joined the blessing together with my wife, and we are the representative couple for Asia Pacific. And somehow, yeah, we are happily married in a sense, yeah, as at least in our church. And this is a photo we shoot in Cheongwon. Yeah, and this like basically the family photos, and you can see like other peoples are here, and we all happy. Yeah, and yeah, somehow here, yeah, somebody with a good camera. Yeah, so basically for those who know, like I come from Malaysia and my wife come from Russia, and because of the differences of the culture itself, so somehow for us we always need to like asking each other and like trying to understand each other more and more. For me personally, I don't really feel troublesome for this part. For me, it's much more even better. Maybe it's because of their culture is much more fit into my own value system as well. As they are much more focusing onto the children, much more focusing onto the family, and yeah, like for them, like church is something that you doing it voluntarily. It's not something like as a job, in a sense. I'm not saying that every pastor who just stay in the church is wrong, but somehow for me, for the pastor who stay in the church, they easily narrow down their perspective, since they don't really go outside and face all the society and how the society works, in a sense. So yeah, we easily just get into a sense like, yeah, this is supposed to be done in this way, that way, and no negotiations in between. Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's why probably I will be the one who will just go to Russia, in the future. And yeah, so for my blessing, it will just start from the pot, which I went to Chongpyeong. Like today morning, I say like 3 years before, because it's like that's when I have start to join in with the night vigils. And but actually, for me to like Chongpyeong, it's much more like I start the journey with like I going to Chongpyeong by myself. Like I finally can go to Chongpyeong by myself, because when I was a kid, I went to Chongpyeong together with my parents, and basically with my parents, it's much more like a stressful trip for me, to be honest, because you know, with parents, they're asking you to do it better and better. You cannot be lazy. You need to join this and that activity programs, and it's not really something like, oh yeah, I can go there and make some friends and manage my own time. No, yeah, so it's kind of different thing to see, to think about it. But someone since True Mother say that the intermediate era is over, and Champong is much more like a womb that represents the mother's womb. So we are supposed to be rebirth right there. So I think actually we are supposed to much more focusing on to like a recreation in Champyeong. Yeah, so that's why when I finally can start to go to Champyeong like by myself, the solo trip, yeah, to be honest, it is the best time for me. It's since I was 19, so it is like 2000. Sorry, it's like when I was 17, so it's like since 2019. Yeah, so everything just went well, and I just making more and more friends as well, and somehow because of that also built my own perspective that okay, I think I want someone from international for my matching and blessing instead of just Malaysia, like and because like if we come from different countries, it's much more like a jackpot for most of the time. You know that there are some like unknown from that person, and as well as that like you need to know each other more, you have more topics to talk, and you are secure that you have much more true like a deep down communication in a sense. Yeah, so that's how I start to build my own perspective, or like a desire to have someone international. And that's when I'm 17. But at the same time, during that time, I don't really know, or like, what should I say that? Like, I don't really want to stay in the church. But that does come with a sense of like during that time, I was still like in a mood since I was 6 years old. So I have a keep on have a thinking that I want to just leave my family. For those who knows my family, yeah, I have a very strict parents. It's much more like a military training since I was a kid, and I'm the eldest son, so you know what it means. So it's much more like it's much more strict than my siblings. So yeah, with that sense, and I just always just feel that it's nothing about love in this kind of family. So that's why I'm like keep on thinking that I want to just leave during that time until my age of 18. And why the age of 18? Just everything just happened because of the pandemic as well, and because of the pandemic, so somehow because of the pandemic. So I need to face my parents really directly, and somehow we have a lot of quarrels. To be honest, yeah, and it's a very strong quarrel. So it's not like just soft. It's a very rare occasion for our family, and to be honest, I'm not really good with that. And I mean, I'm not really good with that in the sense that always I would just feel like I'm like, and I'm totally exhausted with that kind of like conversations. Yeah, my dad did say that he have a conversation like a 6 hours. It's like a 9 to 3 when I was 18, and next day I still need to I need to wake up for window K, and also yeah. So something like this. It's much more like a military training for a very long time. Just for it. Yeah. So with that, and somehow but because of the pandemic, so somehow I just understood that God really want me to stay inside the church. So that's why I just yeah I just decided, okay, yeah, for me to stay inside the church, yeah. So prove to me, God, yeah, prove to me that you exist, and also prove to me that you want me to be here. Yeah, so that's why I say that I never doubt that God exists in a sense. Yeah, I mean, because the pandemic itself is the biggest proof in that way. But no, knowing that God wants to want me for something good, yeah, I think blessing is the best answer onto it. Yeah, but during that time I know nothing. So yeah, that's why it happened. And until my age of 19, that's my first communication with a Taiwanese sister. And during that time, I was much more like still keeping my very pure, innocent thinking or imagination about like a relationship. And somehow I thought like, oh yeah, it's much more like, oh, I have a girlfriend finally, in a sense that it will be agree, or like yeah, I agree by my parents, but somehow it don't works in this way, because the sister don't really wants it. But somehow she didn't speak it out. Like she just in the end like, and she just said that yeah, everything need to end. Yeah, it's not like communication in the end. Yeah, and during the time it did hurts me, but during the hurts, to be honest, I think I learned more during that time, because it just made me realize that, oh yeah, I need to be better. I need to be a better person as well, and I need to know what I want. So yeah, with this, and it just skip, and I just fast forward to my university. I was in the cup center, but somehow I emotionally broke down without me knowing why. And during that time, I just came to Chombo Training Center. During that time, the Chombo Training Center international team only have 6 trainees, like including me. We only have 6 people altogether, and like we all have a very good relationship with the Korean team and Japanese team during that time. Right now, not really, because we have too many people, but during that time we have a very good relationship, and somehow me and Chopin and Alvin, like we all just came together during that time. And there's not the photo from that time, but yeah, it's that we three are like a good trio, yeah, just going all around. And somehow, because of the 2023, and I exposed to the Chengxun a lot. And during that time, it's around like a 700 time of Chengxun. So basically, it means that they already run the Chengxun for 2 years and more. And somehow during that time, I just have a very strong feeling that we need to do it as well for Chengxun in Malaysia. Uh, yeah. So because of the Chengxun, so everything will be like, I have a very strong experience during that time, and I just know that, okay, yeah, God exists, God loved me, but in a sense, what should I do for the future? Yeah. So during that time, I pray a lot, but I have a very strong feeling that Malaysia is lack of a lot during that time. So that's why during that time I push Malaysia leaders a lot, and saying that we need to do more, want to change one. But during that time, nobody really supports onto this idea. And for me, like, this is not the reason for me to quit as well. But yeah, it do make me feel a little bit like, not really being appreciated during that time. Yeah, but for me, like, what I did during that time is that I just keep myself to join the online charging one every day. Yeah, even my parents said, "Oh, we need to move the house. We need to pack this and that." I would just wear my earbuds, and just doing all this. Yeah, joining the church more. Yeah, in this sense. But it's definitely not shouting. But yeah, when enjoying online, at least we pray. At least we listen to what happens during that time. But because of the change one as well, somehow I exposed to political news, because always I watch politics after the change one, as well as the MBTI, as well as like talking about like a Christianity, how they look towards our church. Yeah, something like this. Somehow I was being exposed to this kind of content during that time, so I don't really understand like why it happened, but somehow it just happened. Yeah, during that time. Yeah. uh yeah, so basically spend a lot of time, and the more change when we join, the more our family just become Korean somehow. I mean, because my sister already match and blessed to a Korean, and somehow, I mean, Sokjun, like, he looks Filipino, but at the same time, his nationality is actually Korean. So yeah, and my brother right now in UPA, and the youngest brother as well, and me, yeah, being there for a year. And somehow, like, when I went there, and there's the photo that I took not long after, like, I arrived there as a volunteer. So this is the photo of me, Chongfang, I mean, we took together. And somehow, like, for my wife, yeah, during that time she also came. And but then during that time I don't really know her, yeah, but she came during that time. It's like really not long after I came there, and without we knowing that in the future we are going to be husband and wife. And during that time, my wife is like a very like a, for me, I always use the word loyal to her family, and she always going around with her family, taking care of her like siblings, and as well as like attending her mom. And this this banner itself actually, it just exists not long after I went to Chombo Training Center. During that time, yeah. But then when I look at this banner itself, I don't really think that I have a chance to get into the blessing for 2026, since I was thinking, okay, yeah, it's not that about True Mother, but it's much more like, yeah, I don't have a chance to communicate really well with other people, and the time is like quickly ticking. And if I don't join the blessing 2026, it probably means that I'm going to join the blessing in 2028, since 2027 will be too difficult for me. And even 2028 itself, yeah, I might lose the chance of maybe 28, 29, 20, and 30, 2030, around like that time. Yeah, that like uh, before November, I mean, before December, I was thinking this way. Yeah, but somehow, yeah, because you just look at my wife, and during that time, she just very attentive, and yeah, I have totally no chance to talk to her. Like in a sense, like only a very simple asking question, and like asking her testimony that she went to the Chungwon for prayer. Yeah, and yeah, she is always like very like serious into a workshop. Yeah, and as you follow my YouTube channel, you already knew that I somehow like sometimes I did put up questions and saying that church here and there having problems, and including a blessing, the matching blessing process for our second gens. And for me, like this is a very big issue, but somehow we never deal with it yet. Yeah, so but then somehow I already went with the process with it. I won't say that there's like really working onto it, especially in Asia Pacific, but somehow I think they're trying to make it better, and I hope they do. And it is like a very important point for me to say it out, in a sense. For me, like saying it out in public is just like I'm trying to make it much more like a modernized. I mean, for our church as well. Like we can't just always just keeping all the voices inside our church. We also need to like make it like a much more alter, so everybody will just know that okay, actually our church member is somehow normal, in a sense. We have our feeling, we have our own judgment, and we have our own decisions making as well, in a sense, but we have the common denominator, or like we have a common understanding that true parents, yeah, is the Messiah, in this sense. So yeah, and during this time, it's like I was like doing my work, not work, my volunteer service in the Chumo Training Center International Team. So basically, I just always like trying to do more translation as I could, but then somehow, yeah, I just feel I just heard the leaders saying something like, "Oh yeah, so you all need to do more conditions, and for those who are singles, you need to go to blessings. So because it's that you need to like build your own true family somehow, in a sense. I mean, through translation, I also heard this like this kind of content. So that's why I'm like, okay, so I need to do something onto it. And the leader's recommendation, yeah, basically you just need to do condition. And for condition, I just go to Trail Blessing every day, and to go to Trail Blessing is like during lunchtime. Sometimes I don't even eat lunch because I'm like, okay, I need to do my condition. So during that time, actually, I'm much more slimmer, much more skinny, and not like here right now, much more like a Doraemon. Yeah, and somehow this like the pathway that goes along to the Trail of Blessing. So you can see the Chengjongdong, and here is like basically the video that the detention center where True Mother's at, and inside there is like at the same time there is like a current like a former president, uh, President Yoon. I'm not saying the Yoon Yong Ho, but like President Yoon of the former current president, the national president. So he is also inside there. So actually in front of it is like the rally for him, and for our church is like right behind me. So it comes from one day. I mean, so I just doing all the conditions continuously, and yeah, for the Tree of Blessing course, I even went to like a for 100 days. Like, so I think I doing like a condition pretty good, and at the same time it's much more like it's a process. I just want to do a reminder. So it's a process that you're doing condition. It's a time for you to reflect onto yourself. So it's not something like a really a happy time. And why I would just say that because a lot of people are just expecting, yeah, I did condition is something like just a formula course, and I just put it whatever I need to put into it as a compound, and it will just come up the result that what I want. But actually, it's not all the time that kind of case, and you need to really put into your heart, and you need to reflect onto yourself. And even like on the Tree of Blessing, sometimes I would just reflect for half an hour to an hour, and while everybody is like playing down there and like eating something and enjoying, and somehow I was not joining them together. Yeah, so at that time I did feel a little bit lonely in this way, but I know that is that I choose to be lonely in this way, so I be aware about my own decision and the how should I say, like the consequences coming after it. So yeah, so with that, I think it do help me grow a little bit more on reflecting myself in this kind of sense. Yeah, so I just keep on doing the condition, and I also keep on trying to approach to other people since like it's in champion. Yeah, but it's always not working. So somehow, yeah, at that time I basically already like, yeah, no more chance for me. And it comes to one day, my parents just show me like a they show me some photo, and I say no for the first two sisters, but somehow a few days after they told me that there's a Russian family want to have a communication with our family. And the first thing, yeah, pop up is like my wife's family, but at the same time, because my interaction with my wife during the time is not really, it's not really that much. Yeah, and it's not even deep, and it's not even like have a good impression into something yet. So at the time I'm like, why she want to approach me? Like, yeah, so at first I thought this that maybe it's her own initiative, but somehow I just found out that no, it's like from her mom, and she knew nothing about it. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, it's interesting. Yeah, so yeah, it basically came in this way, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Since she's not Taiwanese, I already say that I don't want Taiwanese so much during that time, and I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe it's a chance, right, for me to see and my fit to that sister. So somehow we have our first family meeting, and during the meeting, yeah, basically she don't really speak, and she always just stand for a very long time to squeeze few English words like how how are you, hi, and what do you think about like the matching and blessing process, and do you have any idea about it? She don't really know how to explain about it, but yeah, it's funny. And actually, during this time, I'm in Korea. My father is in Malaysia, and my mom is in Taiwan, and their family is in Russia. Yeah, so basically, everybody is like scattered all around the world. But yeah, like, but we still like start this kind of like a communication process. So at first, like usually we'll have a 21 day communication, and during the 21-day communication, usually people will just make it like a much more lighter and like trying to just understand each other in this kind of sense. And for me, I don't really like this kind of system, firstly, and secondly, I think it's not really reliable for my case, because since she is coming to Chumbo Training Center for spirituality workshop after the 21 days, and it's just gonna be so soon. So I'm like, so I need to do more confirmation. So either yes or no. So like in this case, then I won't just holding a burden that for me, like feeling that, oh, I might need to keep myself in like a good impression or something, like holding a mask in front of my face. Yeah, I don't want to be like that. So I did keep on telling her that okay, I want to just focus onto the most important question for the first 21 days. With the most important question, uh, basically the second call that we had, and I really asking her like, do you have any sexual expectation onto it? And during that time, actually, she is so pure and she know nothing. She's totally innocent. She's only 19, and somehow she's a church, uh, her mom is a church leader, so she's a daughter of a church leader. And I'm like, yeah, my expectation for her reaction is probably it will be someone who would just run away or like or just telling her mom there's a pervert or something. Uh, yeah, like or giving something really judgmental, but somehow she didn't. Like that's the interesting part. She didn't. She just admit that she don't know anything, and but then she is willing to talk about it, since like we are in a communication, and somehow it's very important for me. And during that time, I just felt a lot of like a respect from her. And yeah, today there are somebody like asking me like, so what was the point, or like what was the main point that making you just feel that it is her? To be honest, I think the first thing is like the respects. Yeah, and the secondly is like watch for uh okay, go back to the point of respect, because a lot of people would say that yeah, I do also respect towards other men, and somehow they don't give me the same feedback as what you give to your wife. And to be honest, my only question to that is that are you truly admire him from the bottom, from your heart, that once you once you met him and you already like, oh yeah, it's him, instead of like, let's see. Yeah. I mean, during the communication, everybody will just try to hide like the fact that, oh yeah, actually, uh, when you're not treating me good, I will just try to have a chance to just run away, to find a chance to run away. And actually, everybody is like very sensitive. Okay, yeah, because we are second gens, and we are truly like sensitive on this kind of perspective. And but then like a lot of time we just try to hide under the table for these kind of feelings, and we don't try to admit it. But everybody is sensitive, so like the expressions for people to saying that, oh, I like you, I don't like you, actually a lot of time it come with this. It's like if you just come with a conditional respects, I think it don't really helps her. Like it don't really helps in your own relationship. Yeah, it will somehow like, even it will just make it worse. Yeah, since like you two is not really like helping each other in a sense. And yeah, so usually like in this kind of process, I would just say that if you are trying to really to understand each other, give each other have unconditional respect onto it, until only until they give you the reason that you can't accept, like the red flags that you cannot accept, like the some things that you're like, okay, yeah, for this kind of person I cannot go with them anymore. So that's why I say that it's so important, it's so critical for us to go through the most important question for the first 21 days. Because if you don't know each other on the first 21 days, basically after that you are like wasting time onto each other. And a lot of people might just say that you are treating people just like a products, but I'm not saying that everybody is just a product, but everybody do have a lot of things they need to focus in their life, and they can't really just spending all the time onto a stranger and leaving like emotional scars onto themselves. Then they just realize that that person don't want to go with them to the future anymore, and they just spending all the time just by knowing each other, or like trying to get used to each other. Yeah, so that's why, yeah, I that was also the part of the reason for me to get into like a very strict questions into it. Yeah. And another reminder is that like everybody have a different kind of focus, and for me the focus for the future family inside the couple relationship, yeah, definitely first thing is about sex. Then we can go through everything else after that. But sex is like so important for me. Yeah, so that's why I put it onto the table and talk about it. Yeah, and somehow from a mom's perspective, we were spiritually naked while we're talking about this. So that's why we so quick and fall in love into each other, and you can see that we are happily talking, and yeah, another day, and somehow after that she just came for the spirituality workshop. So in the spirituality workshop is just basically we all like really tired and really difficult situations. At the same time, we set conditions for us to make it to achieve every day. So it's like we're going through a tree of blessing, tree of Jeojong, tree of love that we're just going all around, and tree of all things as well. Like since we need the money, and after that we also have the change one, and go to church. We want to do all Jung song and like for the Bundokan as well as the prayer and Bao as well. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we need to do during that time. So like with the Yong Song schedule is like really packed. So usually that people would just say that, oh yeah, with a very packed schedule it's better for you to just put it down. But somehow like we two already decided like much more early than what when we realized that it's too busy. So somehow we just try to keep it since it's our promise to heaven. So that's why we just keep it, and we just keep on trying to strive it. Yeah, during that time, and yeah, even if they have a whole day program, I just went it. I went to the like we two just doing our conditions together in the early morning of 6, and it's like a very slippery roads, and always I will sleep onto the roads, and like it's like a very hot experience, but somehow like yeah, I mean Sasha is like a well trained Russian, so yeah, she didn't sleep down a lot. I think she slept down only one time, and somehow she fall down very good way. It's not like me. Yeah. Yeah, so basically that's the experience, and yeah, this the spirituality workshop, and these two kids is our favorite kid, and probably main favorite because like these two kids is like when they were much more uh smaller, Sasha and her sister Anya, like they were taking care of these kids in Champion. It's like a 2018, and during that time they too like really like a baby, but somehow they just remember her. We first time we met these two girls is that we are going to a tree of blessing, and in that time it's so cute. She just say and they too just say that Sasha Dayo, and like and they really like shouting like a really pure kids, and I'm like yeah, it just make me somehow yeah, maybe having a daughter is a very good choice as well. Yeah, there's another photo from us from a young song, and this like we walking around the tree of love, so somebody just spot us and taking a photo of us. Yeah, somehow like if I'm not mistaken, that person also doing the same condition as what I did after that. Yeah, and there's like in one of intensive prayer. And after program, we just came together, and during that time, actually, Sasha is sick. Yeah, and she don't have too much energy for that, but yeah, she's still really attentive. I'm really impressed onto it. So somehow after the 40 days spirituality workshop, on the 5th of February, and we had our commitment ceremony. And to be honest, during the time, I just get into a scam. So actually, I'm losing money. I don't have any money, and somehow my parents also came, and they are the one also who lose the money. And yeah, basically the whole family don't have any money, but somehow like so somehow we just changed our venue from Haitian Cafe to the one of the lecture hall. So yeah, and because the help from everybody, so during the time, yeah, I'm much more like have a very smooth uh commitment ceremony. I mean the preparation itself is nothing smooth, yeah. The preparation period is like nothing smooth, and we are all panicked. Me and Sasha, we both panic a lot. But somehow, yeah. because that uh because of everyone's help. So somehow our commitment ceremony, it looks really good, and we are really touched because of it. Yeah. And actually, no, not yet. I need more money. I already said that I get into a scam. I don't have any money, and for the blessing, guess how much I need? Actually, it's around like a 5,000 USD, or like estimate around like a 20,000 Malaysian ringgit, and I really need the money. And why? Because that I need to bring my wife to go outside and to buy the ring, at least the ring. And the ring itself already cost like almost 2,000 USD in total. Yeah. And we also need to pay for the blessing fee and everything sort of. And after that, I also need to pay for my school fee. Yeah. So everything with the estimation around like a 5,000 USD. So during the time, yeah, after sending my wife to the airport, I start to post this kind of like a Insta story again, and my story itself is basically saying that yeah, I need to find more money, and I need help, guys, and I'll provide some service. But then I really need some money, and somehow not too many people respond. Like I did receive some money from people, other people, but yeah, really really thank you. But during that time, it's like not really near to the 5,000 USD. So that's why I just went to the Tree of Blessing to pray again, and as well as the Tree of Fortune. And I prayed for 3 days, and somehow like on Instagram, and one of my friends just suddenly called me, and at first he's asking me about like one of the service I written right here. It's basically the English oral class. It's not really a class, but it's somehow like a session of it. And I just asking him like, okay, how much would you like to offer onto it? And somehow he just said, okay, actually I just want to help you. He said because that of your words in the spirituality workshop, and it just helped me a lot. So that's why I want to help you. I want to support you for the blessing. So I will just support you directly 5,000 USD. So yeah, so I'm like, oh wow. So there's like a very special like a situation to me, because like usually like I don't see people like giving me money unconditionally, uh, especially like uh, before any result or before any service. But he did, yeah. And because of him, I can go to blessing, and because of it, I can see like yeah, going to a tree of blessing, going to a tree of faulting to pray about it, it do really help. It do really help the like heavens to work on onto something that it is like for the providential sake. Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, this is like a really a miracle. So somehow that's why I just took this part of the story onto it. So yeah, after a month, I received money. In the process, I still doing the fundraising here and there, and yeah, everybody just yeah can see yeah the end of the result is basically yeah, we got the blessing and we are happy. After that, we also went to have some outing, but during the time during the morning, I don't have too much time, and I didn't prepare the photos as well, so that's why I didn't mention about it. But yeah, we did have a good time, and we really appreciate everybody's help and everybody's attention to it. Yeah, and yeah, basically for the second part of my testimony, yeah, helping between our church brothers sisters, like those who are wealthy to help those who are poor, and as well like trying to making everything to work itself is so it's so precious, to be honest. It's so precious. I won't say that it will just happen onto everyone every time, but it truly precious to me. So yeah, I appreciate to everyone, and yep, thank you for hearing to my